Well, he's back in studio. Mr. PJ Lovely, how are you?
Steve Smith, yeah.
I like that.
What's that?
The Steve
Smith.
You almost sounded like Rod Rowdy from...
Rowdy?
No. Roddy Piper? No. Rod Rowdy? What's his name? From Price is Right, the guy that introduces Bob Barker.
Oh, yeah.
I
forget his name. But
him.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that guy.
All right.
The guy.
Steve Smith.
There you go.
Well.
If this rec thing doesn't work out for you, you can be a vocal guy for game shows.
Yes, for just that one.
That one thing.
Only for you.
Yes,
yeah.
For me.
I just do it for you.
I think I'd like to host a game show.
That'd be fun.
Wouldn't that be?
That'd be a really good time.
Like, how much enjoyable would it be to watch somebody else win a ton of money?
Right, and seeing their excitement.
For real.
And sharing their excitement.
I gave you $10,000 because you dropped this little Plinko thing. And
right, nailed it.
Yes. Brought to you by Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. What's the price of this? 99 cents.
Price is Right as you're going to, yeah. That's a good show. Is this still on?
Yeah. Drew Carey.
Oh, of course, Drew Carey.
I don't mind Drew Carey on it now.
I like Drew Carey, though.
Yes. But Bob Barker was my guy.
Right. He was great in Happy Gilmore, too.
He was.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was his classic role.
So I was taping Price is Right every day because as a parent, it's important to me that Harper understands what a great show Price is Right is. But now the kids have too many options for TV. So when you're stuck at home on a weekday and you've got too many channels, where at 11 o'clock on a weekday, it was either watching soap operas or Price is Right. So you're going to watch Price is Right.
Right, but now it's...
everything.
Now you're not going to watch Price is Right.
I know, but I thought it was important for her to watch it.
Well,
so
you still have them just in case.
I was taping it, and then we were watching it at night. And she liked it. It was good.
Well, you can kind of participate
right
at the same time.
Yeah, you have to guess how much does this cauliflower cost?
That's right.
$3.97.
And the guy that climbs the mountain. I remember that.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was classic.
Yeah, good times. So what's happening? What's new?
Oh, we're rolling along in the old rec world down here at the rec center on 65 Belknap Ave. We have a health clinic, flu shot clinic today.
Yes, I saw that. So explain it.
Well, it's just a flu clinic. So we always have flu clinics every year for the town employees, but this is opened up for the public.
Okay.
They want to come in and grab a quick little flu shot. You know, we generally get 10 people or so, not that many.
Okay.
Maybe more today. And we also added you can also get a COVID shot too.
Okay.
So I guess they come around and do the COVID shots. Pretty much anyone you want at this point.
Yeah.
They had them at the library festival, and it's good to have those in case people, want to have a shot.
So now, the flu clinic, do you have to be a Newport resident, or is this open for anybody?
It's open for anybody, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a cost?
There is a cost, but most of the insurance is covered.
Okay.
By insurance.
Because I haven't got my flu shot yet.
Yeah.
I need to, because I don't want people thinking I got the COVID.
Right. I don't want to have a sneeze.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to,
Well, just swing down. You can check it out. I depending on your insurance, I don't know how the cost is working out. I didn't get into that detail.
Okay. I usually just go to Newport Health Center and they stick me and I'm good.
You're good. So either way. But
now,
that's available.
Now, are you strike me as somebody that doesn't care about this, but I'll ask you, do you like shots or do you not? Are you scared of them or?
I don't mind shots. I don't like things going up my nose.
Oh, yes.
The shots, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind a needle. I don't really look. Turn my head away.
Yeah, me too.
But the thing that goes up my nose, I've had a couple of those, and they're drilling for oil.
Uh-huh.
That is awful.
It is awful.
It's really bad. Yeah. Anything that goes in an orifice, like even sticking Q-tips in my ears, scares me. It's just...
Oh, really?
They don't belong there.
I don't mind Q-tips.
Oh, no. What if someone slams your hand at the same time?
Yes.
It's just... Oh, that's what I think about.
I have that worry. Or
I have that worry.
You get a twitch in your arm and you jam a Q-tip in your head?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta have kids. Kids can't be anywhere near me, and my elbow can't be anywhere near a door that I can bang it on. So I need like a whole room, 20 by 20 room, and I stand in the middle of it working on my Q-tips because it just scares me.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose your hearing. You puncture your eardrum.
No, it's just
you're toast.
Doesn't feel right.
No.
And the nostrils just as scary, especially when someone else does it.
So I had the flu test years ago and thought that was terrible. And then I had the COVID test, and that's worse.
Way worse. Yeah.
That was awful. I've only done one COVID test. Hated it. It was when I was at the middle school in Claremont, the one the National Guard was doing it.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? What the heck? It's free. I'll see if I've got the COVID. And they did it, and they did both nostrils at the time.
Yeah.
That was awful. My eyes couldn't stop watering. I was sneezing like crazy. Blech.
Brutal. I did one at the health center, and they're very thorough and they're very polite.
Yes.
Respectful. Awesome. But they went deep.
Uh-huh.
And then I did one in Iceland, coming home from Iceland.
Oh,
we had to do
yeah.
one. They were deep, but not as bad.
Okay.
But it's just the fear now. Every time you come near it, doesn't matter how deep you go anymore.
Stay away from my nose.
It's in my head.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't want to get the COVID, you can get the shot too, at the Newport Rec Center today.
That's right.
Yeah. It was funny. I was on Airbnb last night. I had Harper with me, and we were driving around Lake Sunapee, and I wanted to show her the treehouse, Tiffy Stanley's old treehouse,
Oh yeah.
which you really can't see from the road. I didn't realize that. But I drove out there. I'm like, oh, look at this. And you can kind of see it. Oh, that's cool. So I went online last night and found it's now on Airbnb. You can rent it.
Right,
the
right.
treehouse. So we're looking at those pictures. And then I'm like, where in the world else do you want to go? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, let's just pick somewhere and we'll find a place we'll look at houses. We'll look at places to rent.
Right.
And she's like, well, what about Iceland? I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So we were looking at, was it Reykjavik?
Reykjavik, yeah.
Reykjavik, Iceland. Rooms are cheap.
Yeah.
I was astonished. Like a hotel room for like $69.
Yeah. Flights are reasonable too.
Yeah.
Food's expensive.
Is it?
Yeah. So they'll get you.
Right.
But once you get there, you got to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
To keep a belly full. So.
Did you eat any puffin?
No.
What? You didn't?
No
Did they
puffin.
have puffin?
Not that I saw.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're protected over there, so I don't imagine.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're pretty well protected.
Oh.
I can't imagine their food source, but
Okay. I thought you could eat puffin.
Could be. I don't believe so, but could be. We had fish and chips, good fish. And,
What was it?
It was cod.
It was cod? Okay.
Yeah, Atlantic cod. Yeah.
All right.
Cold from the cold waters of Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never know what kind of fish they have. Because when we went to Puerto Rico, it was grouper. Everything was grouper.
Really?
But it's a warmer water seafood.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to haddock and cod.
Yeah.
Pollock.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm accustomed to when you think seafood.
Right. When you think fish.
Right. Maybe
Yeah.
salmon or swordfish, but
Yeah, most of the time, or tuna. And then,
yeah. But I was like, grouper? I've never even had grouper. It was delicious. It was good.
Yep, it was good. Well, yeah, so that was good. Well, interesting. She picked Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, kind of a cool place to pick.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And you enjoyed, I don't know if we even talked about it. You guys did the family trip.
Yes. Yep.
And-
Yeah, we enjoyed it. It was great. It was. We just cruised around the whole island. It's about the size of Maine,
Okay.
Iceland. So it's called a ring road, and you can take the ring road that goes around the whole island and in and out of the coves and the small villages and.
Is Iceland populated or not? Is it busy? Or
Not Reykjavik is a little bit busy. It's I don't know how many people, maybe a couple 100,000, maybe 100,000 people. That's where most everybody lives.
So what's that comparable to?
Well, it's probably Manchester, a little bit bigger than Manchester. So
Okay.
that's Reykjavik, and then it goes to small towns from there.
Does it?
Yeah, I think they have only 500,000 people in the whole country.
Oh.
So it's less than Maine. Maine's got like 1.3-ish.
Oh, wow.
So,
Huh.
so half the So if you're not in Reykjavik, and there's like a couple other smaller towns, and then there's just very small dinky towns. Not a lot of people live in the middle, just on the outskirts.
All right. The middle that's all mountainous.
It's all mountainous. I mean, there's roads that go through there, but it's a lot of four-wheel drive roads. Stuff you can't take a camper van on, and there's a lot of volcanoes and glaciers in the middle. So
Yeah. And you were telling me something that fascinated me, and I actually can't stop thinking about it because it just boggles my mind. Gavin took a class on elves.
right.
So fill people in on Iceland elves.
Well, Iceland elves, the little people, are more like fairy elves.
Okay.
So not the elves for Christmas. So if you think of elves, don't think Christmas elves. Think elves that lived in the woodland.
Okay.
And so he went to the University of Reykjavik, I think. The professor who does the elf theory and studies elves. So we went to see him, and there was like 5, 6 people in the class. He was there for 3 or 4 hours and got an elf diploma
Okay.
for taking the elf class. And they basically talked about how elves lived in the woodland, and they appear out of nowhere sometimes like fairies. And basically on the onset of Iceland generally did not have technology very quickly. So the folklore of the past, stories got told to generation. And those generations are still telling the stories of folklore of woodland elves and other fairies and other creatures is still being passed on. And they haven't had Google for that long to find out that may not be true.
Okay.
So in Iceland, the probability is higher, or at least the people who believe is much higher than other places.
Crazy.
Because they never have had more science to say that maybe it's not true and they're not real.
So up until recently, like recent history, they legitimately used elves as an explanation for why things happened.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't find my keys. Oh, well, the elves took them.
The elves took them, and people would have still, they didn't have the technology of the camera, but I've seen elves. I've seen seen them. So people would pass down that history, and you know how history and the stories go.
Right, they get better with time.
Yeah, and so he sat and listened to those, and I don't know if he became a believer, but there's still a solid core of people in Iceland that do believe.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, it sounds crazy, but I legitimately believe that Sasquatch is real. So, I mean, at this point, who knows?
I know. I went hiking the other day in Vermont. We went for a long weekend, and there's a guy at the trailhead. He wasn't talking about Sasquatch, but he said, well, just beware for the gorilla. I said, what? The gorilla? He said, there's a gorilla out in those woods. This is Vermont. And I said, well, this is Vermont. What does he eat? Because they generally like to eat like bamboo or something. I don't know where they escaped from, but he showed me a picture. Didn't look like a gorilla. However, he talked to the game warden of Vermont and said, I believe there's a gorilla out there. So, Sasquatch, gorillas, in places they shouldn't be.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yep. I don't know. I listened to a very convincing podcast about this guy with Sasquatch a few years back. I mean, it could be all dog and pony show and stuff, but
Right.
Man, it sounded real.
Well, no, and I kind of tend to agree with you a little bit, but then like sometimes my kids can be, well, how do they mate and have babies? So what, is a Sasquatch that's been living in the woods for 100 million years, but they got to find another Sasquatch to make babies, and
well, there are other ones.
So you'd think there'd be more than just
They've
two.
got a heightened sense of smell, and then they can smell each other from a far distance, and then they meet up and do that thing, and then,
and make baby Sasquatches.
baby Sasquatches, and they live far in the woods.
But
And the reason that you don't find Sasquatch bones is because they're cannibals, and that when one dies, they go eat the other one, and then they digest the bones. That was what this.
Right, so
that was what this podcast. I'm like, wow, that makes sense. Oh, they eat each other, and then that's why you can't find the bones, because they're all
and then you can never
digested.
find them.
Right.
But yet you can barely find the tracks in the winter.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that. Just stop. No, no.
Like they have to be somewhere, or maybe they hibernate and don't go, leave before the snow and come out after the
Right.
snow.
Just like dragons. How does all these different cultures that were not connected at all, from the Incas to the Chinese to the Scottish, that weren't connected for centuries, how do they all have stories about a similar animal that we call dragons?
Yeah, it flew through the air.
Right. Like they look very similar with their own, a Chinese one might have a Chinese mustache or whatever. And, it looks more snakish. And then the Scottish one is a little bit more like the classic that we know of King Arthur and the Round Table. But, were they dinosaurs? Or is stories of
A
dinosaurs?
pterodactyl that
Yeah.
lived longer than other dinosaurs.
Right.
People actually get to see him pass down that story. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, just like passing down stories.
Just like the elves.
Just like the elves.
The elves were real.
And still are.
I know. In Iceland.
I don't know what the percentage of the population. I think Gavin had said close to 50% of the population of Iceland believe in that.
Wow.
Yeah, which is, well, the homegrown Icelanders, not like anybody who's moved there.
Right. Yeah, if I move there, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It's called the wind.
Yeah.
That's why the trees are moving.
Until you see one.
Until I'm like, what is that little guy?
Yeah, what's he doing?
Where's my car keys?
Uh,
Is he a cobbler elf? Are they making shoes?
There you go. Yeah, so many different types.
No. It's 9:48 PJ Lovely Newport Rec Department. How is all the sports going right now?
Sports are going pretty well. We have 115 soccer players.
Jeez.
Which is almost double what we had last year. So it's not the biggest number we've had, but we get a lot of kids playing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. And we have 7 or 8 on our cross-country, middle school's cross-country team. We have 18 kids playing flag football in the common.
Okay.
Which is, we had about 12 at first, and now last couple of weeks we've had more. We got a middle school field hockey team. We got a 3rd through 5th grade field hockey team. After school program. So we got a lot of stuff going on. It's great.
Yeah.
So I would say the sports are going well. I mean, the latest rise in COVID cases has got us a little bit worried.
Sure.
Fortunately, we're outside right now, so we're still okay. Outside has been generally okayed by the state and everybody. So stay outside and we'll be okay.
Excellent.
Hopefully, yeah. So that's going good. Next week we have Waco Taco Wednesday.
Yes.
So we want to invite people to that.
So explain Waco Taco.
Waco Taco. So we have our cross-country course. We moved the cross-country course down by the covered bridge.
Mm-hmm.
The Maxfield Foundation, many years ago, with the help of the rec department, Ryan O'Brien, we put together, we made a trail along the river. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
But so we made a trail along the river, and because it's near a river, it grows up often. So it kind of gets filled in, goes out. So we try to upkeep it every year. And we went out this year and it was growing up again. We cut it back and tried to make it pretty again. And we said we gotta get more people out here to walk it, because when you walk it, you actually keep the brush down and keep things clear.
Mm-hmm.
And you run cross country on it, but that's you run 2 or 3 meets a year. It's not a lot.
Right.
So we said, well, let's have an event. What do you want to do for an event? So what's going to get people out? And I said, well, we've had walks in the past. We said, what about Taco Tuesday? So we said, Taco Tuesday. And then all of a sudden, I think Beth or Becky, one of them said, we can do it for a walk. What about Waco Taco? And I laughed. I said, well, that's a great idea. I love it. So let's do Waco Taco. And then we figured Wednesday, we were going to try to do Waco Taco Wednesday, but it was just too much. We said, let's do a Waco Taco. And then people can get tacos after they walk, and maybe show some families down there this trail, and hopefully they'll come back and keep walking it, on their own recreation time.
Sure.
So next Wednesday,
Waco Taco.
Waco Taco.
What time?
5 o'clock.
How do you do it? Just show up? Do you have to pre-register?
No, just show up.
Okay.
Yep, just show up, bring a family. First 25 people, I think, gets a free taco.
Okay.
From the taco truck, Monster Tacos in town. And then, if we get more than 25 people, we'll have to go into their wallets and
buy a taco.
Buy a taco. So, but you don't have to have a taco. If you're watching your waistline, or we just want to get people out there at the covered bridge.
Sure.
And especially how beautiful it is right now with the leaves falling. And so.
No, this is a great time of year. I think this is the unique and weird part of your job that just creativity just blossoms.
Out. Yeah.
Like, how do you get people? People like tacos. How do we get them to walk? Well, Waco Taco. Done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Tacos, walking, it's a win.
Yeah. There's no running involved.
No running involved.
You get to walk on a flat surface.
Yep.
Through a beautiful area.
And have
eat tacos.
In a gorgeous part of town. Yeah.
Right. Neat.
Seems worthy.
All right.
And then in end of October, we have 2 races. The 6 in the Sticks on Saturday on the 30th, and then the 10K for suicide prevention on Sunday.
Okay.
So that's good. And then the Goshen has their race, Lillian Wright race next weekend.
Yeah, next Saturday.
The 2nd.
Yep.
You going to go to that?
I can't. I am doing the Stevens Alumni Parade.
Oh, is that next Saturday?
Yeah, so I'm going to be the MC of that parade. It just, everything's going on that day.
Right.
Initially, I had the football game.
Which didn't happen, right?
Which isn't happening. And I've been hosting that parade, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, good.
It's a great parade. And this is their 150th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So this is this is like Claremont at its finest. It's going to be huge.
Good
It's
for
going to
them.
be awesome. And I was kind of bummed because I really love that parade. Shriners, the little mini little cars, and they usually have like a NASCAR car there, and New England Patriots cheerleaders and everything.
Wow.
For the normal parade, I can't imagine how much this one's going to be. But I had told them I probably can't do it because I got the football game.
Right.
Well, that game got canceled, so now my time got freed up.
Yep.
And I'm like, yep, count me in.
I'll be there.
I'll be there. I'll be there with bells on. So that is happening at the same time. It's an 11 o'clock parade start. But I got to get my equipment set up. And I like to get there early and just have me time. You know how it is.
Yeah, I know how it is.
I've seen you in action. You've seen me in action. I like to show up 2 hours early just to run through my stuff and then sit and just be like, okay.
Calm before the storm.
Yep.
You got to have everything taken care of.
Because then hosting the parade, I'm on for an hour. I'm mic'd up for an hour just. And up next, the class of 1956.
Cool.
It's great. Have you ever been to their parade?
No.
It's phenomenal. Best parade in the area, hands down.
Right.
But I mean, it's a $20,000 parade normally. This one's probably $30,000-$40,000.
Right.
Because you got to pay the shrines.
Oh yeah,
you got to pay the marching bands.
You
got to
pay the big people. Yeah.
It costs money.
Well, Londonderry marching band. It was like $5,000 to have them.
Oh yeah, they've been there.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Oh, they're very good.
Yeah. Wow.
But they've played for like the president.
In the Rose Bowl.
Yes.
Yes. And the Macy's Day Parade.
Right. That's legit.
Yeah, they're on. They're real deal.
Yeah. But, once you do a Macy's parade on national television, you're kind of a big deal.
Right.
Or the Disney parade at Christmas.
Yeah. You're doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Well, good. Well, enjoy that.
Yeah.
And as a homecoming stuff, I think there's a cross country meet on Tuesday. Soccer games that week. Home. And
Field hockey.
Field hockey's on Saturday.
No football.
No football.
So weird. So, the football thing, I've talked about it before, but that's not Newport's fault.
Oh, no, because, like with any sports nowadays, the numbers are dwindling in athletics, which is very concerning for schools and athletic directors and rec professionals, that the numbers are going down. So getting games is hard. So getting athletes is hard.
Yeah.
Farmington Newt had a team. They could not pull together enough kids. They started the season, just didn't have enough kids to make a season viable, especially with the potential of injuries and stuff. So they pulled the plug. Happened to be our homecoming game.
Yeah.
And then everybody else has a game that weekend.
Right.
So everybody who played Farmington now has a bye, including us, and our bye happened to be on our homecoming.
Right.
So I think they moved the homecoming football game to 2 weeks after when Epping comes to town.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
So the other homecoming is regular homecoming next week.
Mm-hmm.
The homecoming football game is 2 weeks later.
Okay.
As of last I've heard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, how does that work? It's just a regular football game, right? Are they just going to do their celebratory stuff?
I'm assuming so. I don't know how any of it's going to work, but
so weird. I mean, I guess at this point, society is just so weird. You just roll with the punches.
Right.
Like, I was shocked last weekend that Newport did the senior game already.
Right.
And I was talking to Kevin Polari briefly. I'm like, what's going on? Why is this happening now? He's like, in case the season gets closed.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep. Okay.
Makes sense.
I get it.
Got to have your senior game, because if all of a sudden season ends, then no senior game.
You get 3 kids with COVID on the team, and that team's done, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what their protocol is. I think they separate any kid who has COVID from the team.
Okay.
Yeah, and the team can still continue, which is nice.
Yeah.
But there's a certain point where I don't know where that point is, where it's okay. There's too many now.
Right.
And everybody's in isolation or quarantine, and so COVID is still around.
So sick of it.
Yeah. Frustrating.
It is.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I felt like we were done.
Right.
Come springtime, summertime, stuff was happening again. Like, all right, we're getting back to normal. We're out of the woods.
Yeah.
And then maybe not.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, New Hampshire, the average has gone down in the last few days.
Yes.
So that's a good sign. Anytime you can see that dip turn down again, it's a little relieving. It's not climbing.
Yeah.
So let's hope it keeps dipping.
Right. We don't need any more market corrections where it goes up.
Right. We want the market correction going down
Yes.
in this case. In the COVID case. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see that regardless, the numbers are up with the rec department. Kids are out doing stuff. People seem legitimately happy. And it's all day to day at this point, but you guys are still all systems go.
We're still all systems go. We got ping pong today. Do we have ping pong today? Because we also have the shot can be upstairs. Yeah, we'll have ping pong still. Good. Yeah.
Ping pong today, and you can go get your flu shot right now.
Go get your flu shot.
Right now?
I think 11.
11. Oh, okay.
11:30 to noon.
Oh, okay.
11:30 to noon. Yep. So it's a quick little time. Doesn't have a long time, although it's for the town employees as well. So
No.
and we did a quick little window rather than have like a 3-hour window where the people were giving the shots. You know, if there was a line out the door, it's one thing. But
If you're there for 10 people and you're for 3 hours, it's a long day.
That's a long day.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
cool. Well, hopefully a lot of people go get their flu shots today at the Newport Rec Department, starting at 11:30 until about noontime.
yeah.
PJ, well, anything else?
No, I just hope we can get some folks out for the walkout taco next Wednesday.
Maybe you'll get some elves.
Maybe we'll be some elves along the trail.
That'd be fantastic.
Love it. Yep. Steve, have a good day.
We'll talk to you next
Good
week.
See you, man.